Martin Schulz is a German politician and President of the European Parliament since 2012. Previously he was leader of the Progressive Alliance of Socialists and Democrats in the European Parliament. On July 1, 2014, Martin Schulz was re-elected as European Parliament President. Schulz went to school in Broich. Originally dreaming of a career as football player, a heavy injury to his knee put a hold on his youthful ambitions. He became an apprentice bookseller and later opened a bookstore in Würselen. During this time he was already politically active, and at the age of 31, he was elected Mayor of Würselen in 1987, a position he held until 1998. Besides German, he is fluent in English and French and understands Italian and Dutch. Career: 1975 to 1977, apprentice bookseller, 1977 to 1982, worked in various bookshops and publishing houses, 1982 to 1994, bookshop proprietor, 1991 to 1999, member of the SPD Party Council, since 1995, member of the Midland SPD Executive, since 1996, chairman of the Aachen District SPD, since 1999, member of the SPD Federal Executive, 1984 to 1999, municipal councillor, Würselen, 1987 to 1998, mayor of Würselen, since 1994, member of the European Parliament, 1994 to 1996, PES Group Coordinator, Subcommittee on Human Rights, 1996 to 2000, PES Group Coordinator, Committee on Civil Liberties and Home Affairs, 2000 to 2004, Chairman of the German Socialist Delegation, European Parliament, 2002 to 2004, First Vice Chairman of the PES Group, since 2009, Chairman of the PES and S&D Group, since 2012, President of the European Parliament, Education and Professional Career. Schulz was born in Ahrith, a district of Eschweiler in western Rhineland, as one of 5 children. His father was a local policeman. After 4 years at primary school, from 1962 to 1966, Schulz attended the Heiliggeist Grammar School, a private Roman Catholic school run by the Holy Ghost Fathers, in Broich, a district of the town of Broich, for 9 years, leaving without his abitur. As a teenager, Martin went on an exchange to France through his school, which made a big impression on him. From 1975 to 1977 he then trained to be a bookseller. The next 2 years he worked for a number of publishing houses and bookshops, and in 1982 he opened his own bookshop in Würselen, which he ran until 1994. Activities in German politics. In 1974, at the age of 19, Schulz joined the SPD, became involved with the Young Socialists, and in 1984 was elected to the Würselen Municipal Council, remaining a member for just over 2 electoral terms, to 1998, from 1987 onwards as mayor. At 31, he was then the youngest mayor in North Rhine-Westphalia. He held that office until 1998. As a municipal councillor he initiated the twinning of Würselen with the city of Malaix in French Brittany, where he became friends with Marie-Lise Lebranchu, who was the mayor and is now the French Minister for Public Services. Activities in the European Parliament. File 14-02-04 Strasbourg Napolitano Rolf R26 JPG Thumb Martin Schulz 2014. In the 1994 European elections, Schulz was elected to the European Parliament and between 2000 and 2004 was chair of the SPD delegation. Schulz has served on a number of committees, including the Civil Liberties Committee and the Subcommittee on Human Rights. He led the German delegation of the Socialist Group from 2000 and was also a vice-chair of the Socialist Group in the EP. He was elected group leader in 2004, of the PSE Group, succeeding the Spaniard Enrique Barracu den Crespo, a position held until he was elected EP president. Since 2009, Schulz has also acted as the representative for European affairs for Germania Euro unregistered trademark SSPD party, and his views have deeply influenced his party Euro unregistered trademark S pro-European politics. In 2004, as leader of the S&D Group, Martin Schulz introduced a motion in the European Parliament to refuse to give approval consent to the Barroso Commission on the basis of the proposed appointment of Rocco Buttiglione and his publicly expressed homophobic views. A large majority of MEPs from the other political groups followed, and consequently Buttiglione was withdrawn and replaced by Frattini. Berlusconi incident. On July 2, 2003, one day after taking over the rotating presidency of the EU Council of Ministers, Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi of Italy was heavily criticized by MEP Martin Schulz because of Berlusconi's domestic policy. Berlusconi replied, "Signor Schulz, so c'è in Italia c'è un prodotto che sta montando un film sui campi di concentramento nazisti, la suggerire squared per il ruolo di capa squared. L'idea perfetto. A Euro A, in English, Mr. Schulz, one know of a movie producer in Italy who is making a film about Nazi concentration camps. I will recommend you for the part of a capo. You are perfect." Berlusconi later claimed he was referring to the comedy series Hogan's Heroes, where a slow-witted character named Sergeant Hans-Georg Schulz, played by John Banner, starred. Even though Berlusconi insisted that he was just being ironic, his comparisons with the Nazis caused a brief diplomatic rift between the two. Incident with Godfrey Bloom. On November 24, 2010, the British MEP Godfrey Bloom caused a row in the European Parliament when he interrupted a speech by Martin Schulz, heckling him with the Nazi propaganda slogan "A Euro in Vogue, Ian Reich, Ian Far 1/4 era Euro unregistered trademark," and accusing him of being an A Euro undemocratic fascist A Euro unregistered trademark. Bloom later stated that he was referring to the fact that the indoctrination of the German people under the Nazi regime has long-lasting effects. Some Germans still find it difficult to accept diversity in Europe and differences of opinion. In the debate on the future of the Euro Stability Pact, Schulz had criticized the role played by the United Kingdom, which was involved in the discussions despite not being a member of the Eurozone, and said that some Eurosceptics would take pleasure in the collapse of the European Union. Following the incident, the President of Parliament, Jerzy Buzek, excluded Bloom from the chamber. The Dutch MEP Barry Madlener, from the right-wing populist Partij voor de Vrijheid, then protested against that decision, on the grounds that Schulz himself had recently described the PVV MEP Daniël van der Schop as a fascist, but had not been excluded from the chamber. President of the European Parliament. Following the 2009 European elections, Schulz came to public attention when he insisted that his group should not immediately approve a second term of office for European Commission President José Manuel Barroso, and instead, together with the chair of the Green Group in the European Parliament, Daniel Cohn-Bendit, proposed the Belgian Liberal Guy Verhofstadt as a candidate for that office. Following reassurances by Barroso, Schulz dropped his categorical opposition to him, insisting only that he should make certain political concessions to the Social Democrats. As a result, the majority of the group abstained on the confidence vote to Barroso. On September 15, 2011, members of the Progressive Alliance of Socialists and Democrats in the European Parliament unanimously nominated Schulz as their candidate for the President of the European Parliament. On January 17, 2012, Schulz was elected as President of the European Parliament, with 387 votes in favour out of 670 cast. Other candidates were Nia J. Deva and Diana Wallis. Together with EU Commission President Barroso and EU Council President Herman Van Rompuy, Schulz collected the 2012 Nobel Peace Prize on behalf of the European Union. The prize, honouring over 6 decades, having contributed to the advancement of peace and reconciliation, democracy and human rights in Europe, was awarded by a unanimous decision of the Norwegian Nobel Committee. Security policy of candidate. In front of the European Council on December 19, 2013, Schulz took responsibility for the initiation of the Koks-Krasniewski mission to the Ukraine. In the same speech, he noted that Europe was still militarily dependent on the USA, and that in many cases Europe would be quite incapable of carrying out a military operation without the support of the USA. Europe would not be equipped to tackle the increased challenges in conflict situations. Schulz listed several dangers facing the EU, among which were dangers which make themselves felt across borders, dangers which penetrate into the everyday lives of people, dangers which no state can cope with on its own any longer. He argued for rationalization and normalization of effort in defense, was against duplication of effort, and said pooling and sharing would produce better results. Violent conflicts do not break out overnight. Mostly, they are preceded by a gradual deterioration of the situation. I appreciate that it is not easy to explain to people back home why we need to cooperate more closely at European level in such a sensitive field as defense and security policy. Protecting its citizens has traditionally been a key task of the nation-state and therefore also one of the foundations of its legitimacy. But we cannot close our eyes to reality. The world has changed and we are existentially connected to that world. Nowadays we can only defend our citizens jointly. Schulz was quoted in a newspaper report of his speech as having said, "If we wish to defend our values and interests, if we wish to maintain the security of our citizens, then a majority of MEPs consider that we need a headquarters for civil and military missions in Brussels and deployable troops." The External Action Service of Rufus Catherine Ashton had prepared a proposal, which was supported by France, Spain, Italy, Poland and Germany, who together have QMV majority, to create a European Air Force composed of surveillance drones, heavy transport airplanes, and air-to-air refueling planes. The debate was joined with a view presented by NATO Secretary-General Anders Fogh Rasmussen, who maintained that NATO will remain the bedrock of Euro-Atlantic security. Rasmussen's view prevailed on the Council at this time because QMV does not take effect in decisions of the European Council until November 1, 2014. Candidate for the presidency of the European Commission, on November 6, 2013, Martin Schulz was nominated as a Euro candidate designated Euro by the Party of European Socialists. This kicked off a tour to all member states and particularly all member parties. On March 1, 2014, Schulz accepted the nomination of the Party of European Socialists in Rome. He was elected by 368 PES members out of 404, with only 2 votes against him. Schulz thanked the political family for their trust and promised to work hard to be the first candidate who will become Commission President by democratic elections. Personal life: he is married and has 2 children. In addition to reading, among his favorite books is The Leopard by Giuseppe Tomasi di Lampedusa and all the books of Eric Hobsbawm. He enjoys football, being a passionate supporter of the football club 1. FC Car Paragraph LN. He also enjoys music and movies, having also written movie reviews on historical films. Martin Schulz suffered a period of alcoholism as a young man after a knee injury put an end to his hopes of playing football. Honors and decorations: Europe, a Germania Federal Cross of Merit in 2006, an Austria Grosses Goldenes Ehrenzeichen der Republik in 2008, a Russian Federation honorary doctorate by the Kaliningrad State Technical University on May 18, 2009, a Français officer of the French La Copyright Guild d'Art Euro unregistered trademark honneur in 2010, a Romania Collar of the Chamber of Deputies of Romania on October 31, 2012. Doctor honoris causa title by the National School of Political Science and Public Administration of Bucharest on October 31, 2012. An Italy Knight Grand Cross of the Order of Merit of the Italian Republic on November 8, 2012. A Portugal Key of Honor to the City of Lisbon on June 20, 2013. Criticism: a 110,000, tax-free, not related to work. Schulz was criticized that the President of the Parliament received until April 18, 2014 a daily allowance of a 304, also while he was campaigning to become President of the Commission. This was paid for 365 days a year, additionally to his salary of a 200,000 a year. A Member of Parliament receives this daily allowance only for attending. References: General, http, Europa Uplayer Streaming CFM Type equals X plus and SID equals 211,076, external links, official homepage, website of Martin Schulz's political group in European Parliament biography of Martin Schulz, declaration of financial interests.